For more information, visit safercar.gov/kidsbuckleup.
WCOS Columbia, Fox Sports Radio 1400, an iHeart radio station available everywhere on our free iHeartRadio app. Number one for music, radio, and podcasts, all in one.
It's time for Clemson Sports Talk with Lawton Swan.
Just call me Swanee.
Tiger style. Tiger style.
Finally, Clemson Sports Talk has come back to Drive Time. Hello, everybody. Lawton Swan back in the saddle once again. It is the show that shakes the Southland. Clemson Sports Talk for you each and every afternoon as you make your way around the great state of South Carolina and beyond, listening to us on incredible radio stations like Fox Sports Radio 1400 in the Midlands, heard around the world on the iHeartRadio app. And, of course, you can listen on your Amazon Echo or your Google Home device. Thank you for being a part of the program. Thank you for subscribing to the YouTube channel where we are closing in on 600 subscribers with a goal of 1,000 subscribers here. We're going to push that back through the calendar year of the college football campaign. But as long as we are not doing the show live over on YouTube with video, I get concerned. So please, if you like the show, go ahead and hit that subscribe button anyway. And once we get the live videos up and going, you will know when we are there. But we are still broadcasting it, of course, and again, available to you in podcast form as well. 803-450-0086. We're going to hear from you today after Clemson's sparkling 17-14 victory over Syracuse. And I wish I had some stellar words for you. I don't at all. It is what I thought it would be. And, of course, the Clemson Tigers continue to lack offensive firepower and fireworks that you have become accustomed to. We'll also catch up with William Qualkenbush today. Plus, in the NFL, Big Trev, the Giant Killer, and the Jacksonville Jaguars were taking on Miami yesterday. What a cool moment in a couple of respects. One we tweeted out, actually both, but one we tweeted out where Lawrence is almost sacked by Christian Wilkins, who pats him on the chest, and people, man, Tiger fans ate it up. They were just like, you never forget who you win a championship with. And then a little later, when you have to have a strip, well, you do forget for a moment in the heat of battle. And Wilkins got a big turnover from Lawrence and forced a strip, saving some points for Miami. But at the end, ding dong, the witch is dead. 20 consecutive losses. That streak snapped, the second longest streak in the history of the NFL snapped when Trevor Lawrence and the Jacksonville Jaguars knocked off the Miami Dolphins yesterday in England at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, which was cool, man, to see how they changed out the stadium. So the grass and then brought in the artificial NFL turf. We'll talk more about that coming up in a little bit. But again, survive. And I think that is the operative word at this point for this Clemson Tiger football team. Simply survive. Offensively, they are not a tremendous threat. And the fact that they open as a 3-point favorite in this weekend's matchup against Pitt is beyond bizarre. And I saw a couple of tweets over the weekend that are honestly truthful, and maybe even some I have said here. But it is strange when you see Clemson favored by 14 to 17 points when they can hardly muster 14 to 17 points offensively. Like, that's a weird thing. So to be just a 3-point favorite is substantial, given how poor the offense has played and how good Pitt's offense has been this entire season. The other thing, too, I will say, and I can't remember where I saw this. One of our listeners and one of our followers on social media definitely tweeted it, one of the people we follow. And it is a great point, like not some deep words of wisdom that are going to carry on in the pantheon of college football and the landscape of the game that we all love. But there is the old saying, I would rather win ugly than lose pretty. And that, to me, at the end of the day, is what this Clemson team has done. They have won ugly when they have won games this year. And again, it is a disappointing start. Nothing can take away the loss to NC State, who, by the way, rolled at Boston College. Again, my concerns about the Wolfpack dropping 2 continue to exist because they steamrolled Boston College Saturday, which I know for a lot of Clemson Tiger fans, that felt like a game and two teams naturally that were matched up as one-loss opponents in the ACC felt a lot like, okay, could be an opportunity. North Carolina State moves to 5-1 behind a 33-7 win over Boston College. One of the craziest touchdown catches you'll ever see on the opening drive for NC State, where the Boston College defender, bless him, had no idea that the ball was caught sort of behind his back and juggled. And so much so that in every replay you watch, the BC defender is looking for the football, like, where is it? And like Harry Houdini, the NC State wide receiver, is in the end zone. Also, this was Saturday in terms of games across the country. How about Purdue crushing Iowa? The 2-ranked Hawkeyes squashed. And in addition to that, now you've got Cincinnati sliding all the way up to number 2 in the country. The top 5 in the AP poll. Georgia, every single first place vote, 7-0. The Dogs dominate Saturday against Kentucky. Georgia 1, Cincinnati 2. Oklahoma checks in at 3. Spencer Rattler, by the way, did not play on Saturday. Caleb Williams becomes the first Oklahoma player to throw for 4 touchdowns and rush for 1 in an opening game. The first Oklahoma quarterback to do so in his first start. Oklahoma's 3 right now at 7-0. Alabama already back in the top 4 at 6-1. Ohio State is sitting there at number 5 at 5-1. Michigan at 6-0. Penn State is 7th. They are 5-1 on the season. Oklahoma State is 8th. They are 6-0 after their victory over Texas this past Saturday. Michigan State is 9th at 7-0 and 10th in the land. The Oregon Ducks, who again managed to survive this past weekend in their game against California. Cal tried to score late and just was unable to do so. Had several opportunities, but a fast Oregon defense wreaking some havoc inside the red zone, saving Oregon from a second loss. Iowa is 11th, Ole Miss 12th, Notre Dame 13th, Coastal Carolina at 14th, still undefeated are the Chanticleers. 15th is Kentucky, 16th, Wake Forest, 17th ranked Texas A&M checks in at 5-2. NC State's the 18th rated team in the country. Auburn 19th, Baylor 20th, SMU 21st, San Diego State is 22nd, Pittsburgh, who Clemson will play this Saturday, is 23rd, UTSA is 24th, and Purdue checks in at number 25. By the way, 7 ranked teams lost on Saturday, including 5 to unranked teams, increasing the total on the season to 47. 47 losses by ranked teams here to break out of the college football campaign. 803-450-0086, 803-450-0086. Actually, I think that number may actually be the number of teams that have gotten beaten by unranked teams that are in the top 25. So 47 total this year. Now, with all of that on the table, back to Clemson for a minute, if you will, and back to the play that you saw on Saturday. And we've got plenty of audio to get to, including DJ Uiagalelei and others talking about their performances, plus Dabo Swinney's Sunday teleconference, which we may squeeze in with you here this afternoon. But DJ, 21 to 34, 181 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. Will Spires was 1 for 1, by the way. Spires on a fake punt picks up a big first down for Clemson in the second half, leading to a touchdown. And there was a pump fake in the middle of that fake punt. And so the great debate is, what do we call it? The fake punt, pump fake, the pump fake, fake pump. I could come up with a million different things. And then somebody on social media finally said, Swanee, how about the pump Ruski? Maybe so. But DJ Uiagalelei, again, just throwing for 131 yards. It has been an incredibly weird season this year for a kid who so many people across the country thought, and rightfully so, thought would be not necessarily a shoe-in for the Heisman Trophy, but at least a contender. Folks, that's just not going to be the case. And the guys on ESPN's Game Day said as much on Saturday. Halfway point of the calendar year for the Clemson football team. DJ Uiagalelei has yet to throw for 1,000 yards. He has only thrown 4 touchdowns this season and 3 interceptions. He is tied for 110th in the country in touchdowns thrown. It is an incredibly difficult situation to watch. It is an incredibly frustrating situation to watch. And I have been in the corner of Tyson Pumachan has to get an opportunity at some point. And I just don't know if and when that's going to happen. I mean, the fact that you continue to stick with DJ at this point is truly beyond me. And I've talked to several people, and, there's a couple of ways to look at this. And Tony Elliott has obviously been criticized ad nauseum for his coaching this year. And even though there is still, for me, a level of frustration in not seeing more of the QB power game, and I asked DJ, do you want to run plays like that? And he was like, look, I run the plays that Coach Elliott calls. But Tony Elliott said, I think every kid in this locker room wants to score more points. It's just not happening. We've got to figure out how to play our best football. He also said we continue to shoot ourselves in the foot. And I mean, people are like, yeah, and you're the one holding the gun. Talking about Tony Elliott. Essentially saying, hey, your poor play calling is what's costing Clemson. But, I try to dig in a little bit deeper. And while we have certainly had criticisms of DJ Uiagalelei this year, one of the things that I've harped on is dealing with the family situation that he is with his parents getting a divorce. And I thought a week back out in California would do him some good. But it still seems like there's something amiss with DJ. And so I talked to some people that are close to the situation in a lot of respects. And, one of the things I picked up on this weekend that I hadn't considered but came to light to me in a conversation was that DJ doesn't know the playbook well enough for Tony to trust him. And that could be, a compounding issue. That could be a huge issue, potentially. And so if you play with that assumption for a minute, you say, okay, let's assume that is part of the problem, maybe the biggest part, that DJ doesn't, quote, know the offense like he has to, doesn't allow Tony Elliott to utilize everything that this offense could be and could put together because they can't call every play. I mean, if you think of that as a possibility, even if it's not a certainty, what does that do for this offense when it's got to be scaled back? I mean, it's got to make it easier to defend, right? Now, the thing about it is your opponents don't know that that's the case. It's not like you're wearing a T-shirt that says, hey, DJ doesn't have the whole playbook. And thus we're limited to pages 1 through 15 instead of 1 through 85 or whatever. I have no idea how many pages are in the playbook. That's beside the point. The point is that it's possible DJ doesn't know the entire playbook enough for this team to be comfortable with him in every single game situation. Additionally, when you kind of watch this team at this point, and I asked DJ after the ball game, and we'll hear some of that audio coming up in a little bit, but I said, when you have the drop here or there, the ball hits a guy in the hands and they don't catch, I mean, does that stuff carry over? Like, you're like, oh, brother, here we go again. Because I think that for most fans observing the game, that's how they feel. Like the instant that Clemson has a drop inexplicably, the fans are just like, oh, seriously? Come on, because you know how critical wasted opportunities are. And Clemson has been wasting several opportunities. And so, like on the throw where look, somebody wanted to argue with me about the throw to Justin Ross and whether or not it was a good throw or not from DJ on a couple of fronts. I didn't love the throw. This is the one where Ross kind of tweaks his ankle a little bit and drops it. It hits him in his hands. But the only reason it hit him in his hands is because Ross has completely had to readjust his body in order to come close to being able to make a play. And, of course, he didn't, which was frustrating. And he got hurt. But more so, people were coming after me saying, you don't understand the game. That's where that ball is supposed to be. I don't disagree that DJ's throwing that ball where it's supposed to be. But I do disagree with the fact that that ball's not out in front of his wideout. Now, I agree. I think it should have been caught. But to me, that one's on DJ. And yes, Ross and those guys are taught to catch any ball that hits them in the hands. But dude, when you're running to your right full speed and you're trying to catch while turning your hips and upper body back the other direction, I just can't be like, oh, dude, I got to put that all on you, especially when you got to roll your ankle in that moment. And so from that standpoint, when that play happens, all I could think was, oh, man, is this going to be the continuing trend? Is Clemson going to keep doing what they've done all season? And this is why during our prediction on Friday about Friday night's game, I had this to say. I certainly believe Clemson's the better team from top to bottom. I think Clemson's going to come out of there with a victory tonight, but I don't think it's going to be by some wackadoo number. And if it is, I will begin to reevaluate where I sit with the Clemson Tigers in terms of this offense. But for you, the fan, the observer of this game, I think you better prepare for Clemson to just do enough to get by. Now, I think they will play Syracuse better than they did Boston College. I think they'll probably play Syracuse better than they did Georgia Tech as well. I think Clemson survives this ball game tonight, but not by much. I'll take your Tigers getting the job done. Clemson wins it 27-17. I think it's a tight game. I think Syracuse has the ball late with the possibility of trimming that thing back to a one-score affair, but Clemson's defense stands up. So there you go. That's how I had it, and I'm going to continue to say I cannot put more than 27, 28 points for this team on any given Saturday until they crack through. They got to bust through that ceiling and hit a 31-point day before I'm headed that direction. All right. We'll hit a quick break. We'll come back with more of the show that shakes the Southland. Plus, you'll hear from DJ Uiagalelei after Friday night's win over Boston College. Stay with us for more of the show that shakes the Southland.
It's your chance to win $1,000. Text the nationwide keyword money to 200-200. You'll get a confirmation text and info. Standard data and message rates apply in this nationwide contest. Money to 200-200. Now, Columbia's most dependable traffic. Sponsored by Pope Davis Tire and Automotive. Home of the best tire prices in Columbia. Guaranteed. Fox Sports Radio 1400 traffic.
A look at traffic shows a wreck on Broadberry at Julius Richardson. Also an accident on Springtree near Park Lane. The 103.5 FM WVOC traffic tip line number is 343-1055.
This report is sponsored by Circle K. Sip and save at Circle K with their new drink subscription. Enjoy one coffee or fountain drink every day for only $5.99 a month. Sign up in store. Circle K. Take it easy.
Are you shopping for your first home or fourth or fifth? At Cap Center, there's an easier way and a less expensive way. Cap your stress by using both our mortgage and realty teams. Specialists who work together under one roof for a seamless experience. And cap your costs with a zero closing cost mortgage, saving you thousands of dollars compared to other lenders.
This was my first home purchase. I thought it was going to be an ordeal, but a friend recommended Cap Center to me. I can't believe how easy it was.
My third time using Cap Center. It's a great experience every time. Completely painless. Staff is always on top of what's going on. I can't understand why anyone would use another company and pay closing costs.
Cap your home buying costs. Visit capcenter.com. Equal housing lender. Visit capcenter.com for rates, savings, and offer limitations. This ad contains real client feedback voiced by actors. NMLS ID 67717. NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
It's about time to crank up the old fireplace for warmth and for the holidays ahead. Tim's Gas Depot has an important message for those looking to install this year or for those that may be in need of service. Do not wait. Hurry. Like many industries, supply lines are thin and experienced help is hard to find. Because Tim's Gas Depot services units as well as selling and installing them, they can use a little help too. Call now. And if you know someone that would like a rewarding career, call them sooner. Tim's Gas Depot on the Irmo side of Broad River Road. Search for them online at timsgasdepot.com.
Hey guys, Lawton Swan here. I was hanging out in the backyard with my son Mason a couple of years ago, and he said, "Dad, you're the best father ever." When I asked him why, he said, "Because when I go outside to play, I don't get eaten up by the bugs anymore." Imagine that, me a hero, when all I did was call my good buddy Trey Powell at Mosquito Joe. With their routine service plan, no more bugs and no more bites. Make yourself the family hero. Call Mosquito Joe today, 803-223-7916. That's 803-223-7916. Outside is fun again.
There are many sounds in your day-to-day life. There are sounds that wake you up. Sounds that make you smile. Sounds that energize you. And sounds that help you relax. But there are some sounds that can alert you to danger and can help save lives. Wireless emergency alerts, now on many mobile devices, use a unique sound and vibration to bring you information about severe weather events, Amber Alerts, or other emergencies in your area. With critical information from local sources you know and trust, you can be in the know, wherever you are. For more information, visit ready.gov/alerts. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to Clemson Sports Talk. Join the show now at 978-1832 or text 803-450-0086.
Back at it on a Monday afternoon. Lawton Swan with you again after the ball game. Tony Elliott got a chance to meet with the media, and I know for everybody, this is the guy you want to hear from. People are disappointed in this offense and the way they've been playing. 17-14, the final score from the Carrier Dome. Here's Tony Elliott meeting with the media.
No, I felt good coming out of the open week. I thought we had a really good week of practice. Really created some adversity with the noise and the indoor. Thought the guys did a good job of handling that. We knew it was going to be a challenge with all of the shifting and movement that they do. Obviously, different than what we faced the week before, where BC more just lines up and 4 down. Know how to target them. So I knew there'd be some challenges, but I thought the guys progressed well throughout the course of the week, and I think they were confident that this was going to be the game that we were going to break out. But we just still continued to shoot ourselves in the foot. A costly penalty here, a costly missed block there. A miscommunication. When we're starting to get drives, and again that'll get us out of rhythm. I thought we did a couple of good things. Man, we had some long drives that we put together. Syracuse was going to play a lot more coverage, than they've done in the past. Until later in the game, they played with the one-man coverage, but they were going to make us earn it. We put the ball in the air a couple times down the field. We didn't come down with it. So again, it's just back to the drawing board. One thing is the guys still have the will to win. They're working their butts off. Just at some point, we're very optimistic that it's going to turn. We just don't know when it is, and that was the challenge in the locker room. The only thing that's holding us back is us in getting out of our own way.
Again, Tony Elliott, and it's a repeated issue, even coming off of the bye week. Just they keep getting in their own way. Things aren't great. Maybe the play call is not perfect either. Elliott was asked, does he have plays, though, that he feels comfortable with when they need a big conversion, 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6, et cetera?
I think that where we are is you're thinking players, in most of those situations and going to your guys, and but then you got to have protection. Everything's got to marry up. Guys got to win. If it's a man beater, you got to create the rub. The depths, all those things are important. So we just got to continue to go back to work there. There were a couple situations in the game, just communicating with coach, just like, okay, let's run the ball here in this situation. And obviously he's in control of managing the game. So some of those mid-yard situations was a product of that. And then the other ones, we just got to do a better job of the details and throwing and catching and executing, and everybody doing their job.
One area DJ did pretty well was a 2-minute drive in the second half. Of course, it was aided by that fake punt. But here's Coach Elliott talking about a couple of those drives and just kind of the way DJ played.
I thought DJ did a good job of taking care of the ball. First and foremost, that's 2 weeks in a row with no turnovers, which is big, gives you an opportunity to win. I thought he put the ball in places where they needed to be. We just didn't come down with the catches. I can only recall, two throws that I can recall that he missed. He missed a hitch route that hit the ground, and then there was a deep ball down the sideline that we didn't connect the Ross on. But other than that, he put the ball in places for the guys to make catches. He ran the ball when we needed him to run the ball. Obviously, he had to move a lot in the pocket, and so he wasn't able to get settled on some things from a protection standpoint, which is always tough on a quarterback, especially in some third down situations. Turning guys, loose, not completely loose, but giving up pressure. So overall, I thought DJ, man, he just continues to get better. Obviously, numbers are not necessarily where you want them to be, but at the end of the day, he's managing the game the way we're asking him to do. He got better in giving the guys opportunities to make catches, and we just didn't make the catches for him.
Tony Elliott, again, after Clemson's 17-14 victory, he was asked about the rushing yardage given the defense that Syracuse was playing and just, I guess, the man coverage that they saw most of the night and how Clemson still struggled to rush the football.
Right. I thought we were going to be able to run the ball, but I also think that, we cut some drives short too. That we were going to, we had a good drive coming out. We snapped the ball over the head. We lose 17 yards. Now we're playing catch up. So that's an opportunity right there. If you keep that drive growing, you're going to have an opportunity to pick up maybe 30, 40 more yards rushing. And again, biggest thing for us is we got to get out our own way. The numbers are not where they are because of a reflection of, one guy over here, have a holding penalty, then you have a false start, and then you have a guy that doesn't execute his block the right way, forces the running back to stop his feet before he's ready to get there, before he gets to the line of scrimmage. So it's just, one thing after another, and it's not one guy in particular. It just seems like at the most inopportune time, we're having that one breakdown. Which gets us out of rhythm, and therefore we're not able to sustain drives, which is going to lead to the outcome or the production that people are used to from this offense.
One other thing Clemson had to deal with was the fact that Hunter Rayburn was in the COVID-19 protocol, and they found that out just before the game. Mason Trotter came in, played pretty well. Here's what Elliott had to say about making that switch.
Found out this morning, that he was going into COVID protocol about 10 o'clock and, discussed it. And fortunately for Mason, he had an opportunity to snap throughout the course of the week. Had an option there with with Bachhorst going back to center, but felt like the best thing to do was to give Mason Trotter an opportunity. And outside of the snap, I felt like Mason, did a solid job, of coming in and being ready with the next man up. So it wasn't a ton. I think the thing that disrupted us more than anything was just the penalties, the missed plays, a couple of missed blocks on the perimeter. We had a holding call on a big screen play to the tight end there. So just those things probably disrupted us more than Rayburn going into protocol this morning.
So again, Tony Elliott getting into some of the ins and outs of Clemson's 17-14 victory over Syracuse. And it is incredible to just think about the numbers and how poor Clemson has been offensively this year against Power 5 opponents. I don't think anybody in the worst case scenarios could have drawn up this type of performance for Clemson. Again, just 3 points against Georgia. Just 14 points against Georgia Tech. 21 points against NC State, but let's not forget that 7 of those came in overtime. So regulation, 14 points against NC State. 19 points against Boston College. 17 points against Syracuse. You're also talking about a 3-point victory, a 6-point victory, a 6-point loss, a 6-point victory, and a 7-point loss. Forget the SC State game. You take a look at the rest of the schedule and the games against Power 5 teams. Offensively, Clemson has been absolutely abysmal. Atrocious. I tweeted, and I mean it. It looks more like 1921 than 2021. It's been that rough this year. And again, they'll take on they will take on the Pitt Panthers coming up Saturday. And I just don't know, honest to goodness, if Clemson's got enough offense to win this ball game. We'll talk with William Qualkenbush more about that coming up in hour number 2. When we come back, we'll hear from DJ Uiagalelei. Stay with us.
Lawton Swan here, and I know in sports we're always talking about the big guy. Well, let me tell you, when you're buying a car, you don't need that. What you need to do is head down to Orangeburg to my good friends at Ferry Chevrolet Cadillac. 4 generations of family-owned business right there at Ferry Chevrolet. No dock fees, no tricks, straightforward pricing in a low-pressure environment you'll love. Check them out online, ferrychevrolet.com, or call them 803-536-1600. It's Ferry Chevrolet Cadillac, just a short 30-minute drive off of exit 145A in Orangeburg.
Guys, now there's no excuse. Peak Performance for Men has helped thousands of men overcome erectile dysfunction. The question is, what are you waiting for? Live the life you want today with a free consultation. No medication, no pumps, no needles, no pain, no surgery, and absolutely no downtime. Just non-invasive acoustic wave therapy that will have you back to your natural form. That's right. Now for a limited time, a free consultation. There is no risk. Fix it for good with one phone call. Call the Columbia office today at 803-302-8181 or find them at peakperformanceformen.com. Why wait? Enjoy your life to the fullest. Peak can make the difference. Call 803-302-8181 and get your free consultation now. That's 803-302-8181. Peak Performance for Men.
It's your chance to win $1,000. Text the nationwide keyword MONEY to 200-200. You'll get a confirmation text and info. Standard data and message rates apply in the nationwide contest. MONEY to 200-200.
It's fall, y'all. Stay cool with this Wilson'sAir.com weather update.
A delightful day today. Calm winds, blue skies, lots of sunshine, 75 degrees for a high today. For ABC Columbia Channel 25, I'm Tyler Ryan.
This report is sponsored by Circle K. Sip and save at Circle K with their new drink subscription. Enjoy one coffee or fountain drink every day for only $5.99 a month. Sign up in-store. Circle K. Take it easy.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting. A teenager. Learning the lingo.
Today I'm going to help parents translate teen slang. Now, when a teen says something is on fleek, it's exactly like saying, that's rad. It simply means that something is awesome or cool. Another one is totes. It's exactly like saying totally, just shorter. As in, I totes love going to the mall with Becca. Another word you might hear is jelly. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will think you're, rad, just the same. To learn more, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
So I'm a cat, and I just moved in with this new human, and she's got this little toy she's always playing with, all day long. Tap, 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 bloop, bloop. She can't put it down. There it is. Oh, and get this. She even talks to it. Last week, she asked it for Chinese, and guess what? Egg rolls showed up. Like magic. Humans have cool toys.
A person is the best thing to happen to a shelter pet. Be that person. Adopt. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the ShelterPetProject.org.
Fox Sports Radio 1400, serving Columbia at 1400, and the world on the iHeartRadio app.
Clemson Sports Talk on a Monday afternoon, again following Clemson's 17-14 victory over Syracuse. We've got some audio from the callers as well. You can chime in 803-450-0086, 803-450-0086. If you would like to be a part of the program, we would certainly love to hear from you here on the show that shakes the Southland. And as I promised you before the break, a chance to hear from Clemson's DJ Uiagalelei, your starting quarterback. Who, man, it has been, I almost want to say your struggling quarterback more so than your starting quarterback at this point, because he has really struggled. Here's DJ after their victory over the Orange.
Hey, DJ, Lawton Swan with Clemson Sports Talk. Just, when you have some plays that you guys have had with the drops and things of that nature, and the way that's kind of been with you the whole season, do you have these moments where you feel like, oh, man, here we go again, just sort of, playing a little bit out of sync and out of rhythm?
No, I think for me, no, not at all. I mean, drops are going to happen. It's part of the game. Obviously, we don't want to have drops, so we don't want to have missed throws. But I mean, it's a part of the game. And a lot of those drops, some of those drops are all on me. A lot of them could have been a better throw, could have been in a better spot. But I mean, that stuff just happens in football. We obviously want to be able to clean that stuff up, and we will be able to clean it up in practice. But that's just a part of football.
DJ was also asked about Will Spires' throw, the pump fake, 17-yard completion to Davis Allen on that fake punt during the ball game.
Spires, man, he threw a dime right there. I mean, he played quarterback for us a little bit as fun. I know in like the summer sometimes he runs 7-on-7 with us and plays quarterback, but that was a dime, man. That was a huge game changer right there. I was kind of pissed coming off the sideline. I'm like, damn, why are we going for it? Like 4th and 5, that type of ball game, and then we go for like a trick play on the punt. I was like, oh, shoot, there we go. Because I was coming off the sideline. I was pissed. I was like, damn, why the heck are we going for it? And Coach Sweet, he didn't want to tell nobody that we're going for it on 4th down. And Davis made a heck of a play and heck of a catch right there, going up and grabbing it. And Will Spires made a heck of a throw.
DJ, what did you see on the touchdown throw to Ngata and his reception in the end zone? And, what has he meant to this team this year offensively?
Ngata's been playing great, man. He's been playing great football. And I think for him, it just starts off in practice, man. You see how locked in he is. He's a very locked in and detailed person. Everything he wants to do in football is super locked in, super detailed. And he just comes into with a will of work every single day in practice. And there's no surprise that he caught that ball. He made a great catch for me. Went up there, high pointed it, got a foot in. Man, unbelievable catch, man. Great. I'm super excited for him.
Uiagalelei was also asked about Coach Swinney's comments that this was the best game that DJ had played the entire year.
I thought I played okay. I thought it was definitely probably the best game I played this season, but still a lot to go. Still a lot that I know I can get better at, and still nowhere where I want to be at, and capable of know where I'm capable of playing. But it was definitely getting better at.
Another question DJ was asked to address, similar to the one that I had asked him earlier, was just, the frustration that you must have when you have these setbacks, a holding penalty here, a bad snap there, the things that have just sort of kept this group from getting sustainable momentum on the offensive side of the football.
Heck yeah. I mean, yeah, you always want to make those plays. And just having those little setbacks right there, it's just little things that we can overcome and be able to take away and not kill ourselves, shoot ourselves in the foot. That was a big thing talking about it in the locker room. We just clean up on them stuff right there. He's got to be able to come together and just make a collective decision. Just be able to just go out there and just finish drives and not have to do that. If we don't have to deal with that stuff right there, I mean, I don't know, who knows how many points to put up and who knows how well the drives are moving. It's just little stuff like that that just sucks. But it's all good. I mean, it is what it is. Can't do nothing about it now. He's got to move on to this week. We got a challenge. We got Pittsburgh coming up next. We got a big challenge. We're ready to accept the challenge, ready to go to work this week.
Hey, DJ, Lawton Swan again. Just thinking about Davis Allen and his role. I mean, for many years, that tight end position was huge for this offense. I mean, what did he mean to you guys tonight, and how big can he be for you moving forward to get things rolling?
Davis Allen, man. Hey, I mean, he's been big. I mean, he's a big part of our offense, a big key to our offense. He does a lot in the pass game, running routes, and he does a lot in the run game. I feel like Davis Allen, he's one of those guys who play 10 years in the NFL. I've been said that since the first time I met him. He's just a hard worker, puts his head down and grinds, and he just goes out there and just performs each and every day. And he's a baller, man. I love Davis Allen.
You also had a couple of big runs with that QB power. I mean, do you want to see more of that in this offense for you personally, or is that something that you prefer to just sit back there and throw the football as well as you do?
It's whatever, man. Whatever Coach G calls. If he wants me to run, sure, I'll run it. If he wants me to throw the ball, I'll throw it. I mean, whatever Coach G calls, man, I trust him my whole heart, my whole life. He did a great job calling great plays today. We got to be able to execute for him, be able to not put him in those bad positions, third and long, stuff like that, and be able to not have backed up, have holding calls like that. But whatever Coach G wants me to do, if he wants me to get out there and run the ball, I like running the ball. If he doesn't want me to run the ball, I'm totally fine with that. Just sitting back there and just be able to be a quarterback. Just want to be able to run the offense, whatever Coach G calls my way. Just want to be able to be ready next to it.
So there you go, DJ Uiagalelei after Clemson's 17-14 victory over Syracuse. It was basically me and DJ. I mean, it was like DJ was getting a chance to go 1-on-1 with the great one. And you know what? We had a good time with it. And again, I want to see him play better. I'd like to see Tyson Pumachan also get an opportunity to see if he can lead this offense or spark things. Like, you saw Oklahoma do it on the fly last week, switching and shifting gears, and then Caleb Williams comes in and they come storming back. And then you run Caleb Williams out there this past Saturday, and he just continues to play great football, confident football. And it's not to say that Tyson Pumachan, and I don't want anybody to think I am trying to insinuate this at all, but it's not as if Tyson Pumachan is a guy that I think most of us feel would be the next big quarterback at Clemson. But at some point, given the lack of success offensively, like, I think the question becomes for many of you, and probably rightfully so, quote, how much worse could it be offensively with Pumachan? Like, how much worse could it be? 8 points a game? You see what I'm saying? That's the thing. I mean, Oklahoma rolled the dice and they played Williams the entire ball game, Caleb Williams the entire ball game on Saturday against TCU, 52-31 the final score. He was 18-23, 295 yards, 4 touchdowns. He also rushed 9 times for 66 yards and a touchdown. I'm not saying Pumachan is necessarily the answer, but I'd like to at least see what he looks like running this offense for a series or two. We'll hit a quick break. When we come back, Ed Orgeron's time in Baton Rouge is drawing to a close. Stay with us.
Ready to get your home insanely clean for fall? Zero Res cleans like no other. No harsh chemicals are used and no sticky soapy residue is left behind. Right now, get 3 rooms of carpet clean for $119. Plus, when you mention this station, you'll get a hallway clean for free. Schedule online at ZeroResColumbia.com.
It seems every time they have an issue, they ask, do you know a good plumber? Here's the answer. Yes, On-Call Plumbing, Heating, and Air. Like the name implies, they're on call, so they're there when you need them. And On-Call always sends a trained technician, not a trained salesperson. Locally owned and operated, online at OnCallSC.com.
On-Call Plumbing, Heating, and Air. Pick up the phone and we'll be right there. Call 781-HELP.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-2072. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. Tax Relief Advocates, real solutions for real people. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today and call 800-575-2072. That's 800-575-2072. Or you can visit us online at TRA.com.
Panera believes in saying yes. Yes to clean, fresh ingredients. Yes to the new chicken sausage and pepperoni flatbread topped with rich mozzarella. Yes to delicious mac and cheese. Yes to putting it on a sandwich, creating the grilled mac and cheese sandwich. And yes to impromptu road trips to Sandwich, Illinois. Because that's living life to the flavor fullest. Get $1 delivery when you order on our app. Panera. Live your yes. Pricing and product availability may vary. Visit PaneraBread.com.
So, what are you sipping? Whether it's our freshly ground coffee to wake you up or an icy Polar Pop cup or Froster to keep you going, our new Sip and Save drink subscription at Circle K will keep you refreshed every day. Join Circle K's Sip and Save and grab any size drink every day for just $5.99 a month. Yeah. Start sipping and saving today. Just sign up with your mobile number when you check out at Circle K. Limited time offer at participating locations.
I'm Colleen Wolfe from Thursday Night Football and Good Morning Football Weekend.
And I'm Ricky Hollywood from Around the NFL and the broadcast.
On our new podcast, Split Ends, Ricky and I will be coming to you every week to talk about all the important and unimportant storylines in the football world.
Join us for the stories on and off the field that matter. We'll break down games, news stories, tweets, interviews, whatever it takes to cover the ins and outs of the NFL world.
Listen to Split Ends on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Imagine if I told you that an earthquake was going to hit tomorrow right where you live. That it would be 6.5 in magnitude with aftershocks occurring twice 25 minutes apart. You'd no doubt talk with your loved ones and you'd make a plan today. It's true, I can't tell you an earthquake will happen tomorrow. But what if it does? Shouldn't you have a plan? Visit scemd.org and make your emergency plan today. Don't wait. Communicate. Brought to you by the South Carolina Emergency Management Division, FEMA, and the Ad Council.
$1,000 in your hand.
Yes!
Win $1,000 every hour. At least 12 chances every weekday.
Oh my God!
$1,000 in your hand on Fox Sports Radio 1400.
Final segment, hour number one. Coming up, hour number two, William Qualkenbush joins the program. So over the weekend, even after, and this is the thing, even after their victory over Florida, Ed Orgeron's time at LSU will be coming to a close. He will finish the 2022 season, but the athletic director at LSU says, quote, "It is time for a new direction." Again, Ed Orgeron led the Tigers, the Bayou Bengals, to a national championship just 2 years ago. They are 4-3 after upsetting number 20 Florida 49-42 at home on Saturday. Ed Orgeron will continue to wrap up this season there. He is 49-17 during 6 seasons at LSU. Second highest paid coach, the second highest paid coach in the FBS behind only Nick Saban. Orgeron will be paid $16.9 million in installments starting December 15th and running through December 15th, 2025. Orgeron and the Tigers, of course, went 15-0 2 years ago with Joe Burrow leading the way. They went 15-0, and now the conversations begin about who's going to be next to be the head coach in Baton Rouge. Orgeron, of course, took over after they fired Les Miles back in September of 2016. The athletic director at LSU said, quote, "The search begins now for the replacement for Ed Orgeron." Scott Woodward is the athletic director there in Baton Rouge. And, so who are some of those candidates out there for the potential to be the next guy when it comes down to this LSU job? Well, one of those names that's been mentioned is somebody already coaching in the SEC and already somebody coaching in the SEC West. How about Jimbo Fisher at Texas A&M? Now, look, your boy Swinney, not high on Texas A&M, leaning in hard on Jimbo Fisher this past offseason, given the results that they've had on the field. And it's not to say that their results have been bad. Heck, they just came off of a victory over the Alabama Crimson Tide last Saturday. But for me, again, when you're going to bump somebody's pay the way they bumped Jimbo Fisher's pay, I have to have a lot of success. But I'm just a guy doing a radio show. You do you, Texas A&M. But there is some belief that the Aggies may actually be in trouble when it comes down to Jimbo, and perhaps not in trouble in a bad way like Jimbo did anything, but just with the feeling in the sense that Jimbo Fisher would feel more at home and perhaps even be welcomed back after being the offensive coordinator there at LSU during their national championship run under Nick Saban back in the day. ESPN's Adam Rittenberg also agrees having Jimbo Fisher as one of those potential candidates. According to this article, it says that Fisher does not have a penalty if he were to leave, even though he's got a huge contract there at Texas A&M. Again, I have always felt that program, LSU, more than any in the SEC, because of its geography, just has a great situation set up. Plus, it's the only Power 5 team in that state. Additionally, another name that's come to light, possibly Mario Cristobal. Mario Cristobal, again, who has done an excellent job at Oregon. Obviously, the offensive line mentality, that coach, a recruiter, who does just a great job on that front. Certainly has a huge buyout at Oregon, but you got to imagine that being in the SEC versus the Pac-12 would be a huge benefit in the mind's eye of a lot of people. Another name that Rittenberg mentioned is James Franklin up at Penn State. Penn State certainly has not achieved the level of success that everybody in in State College, Pennsylvania, would have liked at this point. But Franklin showed at Vanderbilt that he could do very well in the SEC, and possibly, if at the right program, it could be a huge, huge pickup in that league. Another name that was thrown out too, Mark Stoops, of course, the Kentucky Wildcats. We're off to a 6-0 start. They lost this past Saturday rather handily against the number 1 ranked Georgia Bulldogs, but a name that's been around the league has led Kentucky to its first 6-0 start coming into this past Saturday since 1950. One of the other names that I would throw out there, and I don't know if this would be something they would consider, but would it be possible to look at a guy like Joe Brady at this point, who is with the Carolina Panthers, has never had that type of coaching experience, but as the former offensive coordinator or passing game coordinator or whatever his terminology was while he was there. Wouldn't Joe Brady, given his youth, just 32 years old, be a name that most people would at least put on that list? That's one that I would lean in on as a spectator and an observer for LSU. I mean, there is no doubt that part of their success was Joe Burrow at quarterback, but Joe Brady as the offensive mind, to me, would be a place to look. And again, you're talking about a guy that is very, very young, which I think has its benefits, honestly. 803-450-0086. Lane Kiffin's name's been mentioned. Billy Napier, the former Clemson offensive coordinator and former Clemson quarterback, who was on Dabo Swinney's staff. He's now at Louisiana Monroe, the Raging Cajun, or excuse me, Louisiana Lafayette with the Raging Cajuns. And then also Luke Fickell up at Cincinnati. I mean, the Bearcats are sitting there at number 2 in the country. I mean, I don't know. I mean, this is Ed Orgeron, I said last week, and I mean, it fits the profile of LSU head coach more than maybe anybody in America. And yet, even after winning a national championship, less than 2 years later, you're done. Like that, to me, speaks volumes about the microwave mentality. Hour 2.
Clemson Sports Talk with Lawton Swan on Columbia's home for sports. Fox Sports Radio 1400. Now, Columbia's most dependable traffic, sponsored by Pope Davis Tire and Automotive, home of the best tire prices in Columbia, guaranteed. Fox Sports Radio 1400 traffic.
A wreck on Rosewood at Garland has the roadway partially blocked. Also an accident on Piney Grove Road at the I-26 ramp. The 103.5 FM WVOC traffic tip line number is 343-1055.
This report is sponsored by Circle K. Sip and save at Circle K with their new drink subscription. Enjoy one coffee or fountain drink every day for only $5.99 a month. Sign up in store. Circle K. Take it easy.
Group training is a fun, accountable way to get in shape. I'm Coach Stewart of Dynamic Health and Fitness. Come train with one of our special groups today. We will focus on giving you the support you need to get in shape. We use the Dynamic Mob, featuring intervals of cardio, functional training, and strength training to change your lifestyle to make you healthy. Get started today at any of our locations in Lexington or West Columbia, or call 803-408-4060 or online at dynamichealthclub.com.
There's a hot new podcast we think you'll like. Variety's Strictly Business. Hear candid conversations about business deals, strategy, and the future of media and entertainment from industry A-listers. Hosted by Variety business editor Cynthia Littleton and co-editor-in-chief Andrew Wallenstein. And once a month, executive editor of music Shirley Halperin will join the conversation to discuss the business of music. Listen to Strictly Business on iHeartRadio or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hi, it's Gary David. Are you ready to take a shot at finding a new career? FN America, a growing world-class design and manufacturer of the world's most innovative and quality firearms, is looking for you. At FN, you'll be part of a passionate team that takes pride in knowing they're doing their part to save lives and protect our freedom. FN offers outstanding benefits, including an on-site health and wellness center, excellent health plans, profit sharing, and 401k plan for all employees. So start carrying your future today and explore career opportunities at fnamerica.com/careers.
At the Samuels Reynolds Law Firm, we've seen how terrible accidents turn lives upside down, and we're proud to be the lawyers our clients depend on during their toughest moments. I'm Jason Reynolds. Call me when your family is faced with any serious injury or death.
And I'm Stephen Samuels. When you're hurt at work, I go to work, getting you the medical treatment and workers' compensation you depend on. We have the experience and passion you need when you need it most.
Samuels Reynolds. True injuries, true lawyers. 779-4000.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
This is Nnamdi Asamoah. I play football for the Philadelphia Eagles, but what I do off the field with United Way might be more important. I'm a volunteer tutor and mentor. Why? Because over 1 million kids a year drop out of school, and that's not okay. It takes 12 years to create a graduate, but it takes about the same time to create a dropout. And the difference between a child becoming one or the other could be me, or it could be you. Studies show that if we get to these kids earlier, their chances are better. And kids who read well by 3rd grade are more likely to graduate. So join me in United Way. Suit up and take the pledge. Become a volunteer reader, tutor, or mentor. Because when a child succeeds, we all succeed. Give, advocate, volunteer, live united. Take the pledge at unitedway.org. Brought to you by United Way, the Ad Council, and the National Football League.
WCOS Columbia, Fox Sports Radio 1400, an iHeartRadio station, available everywhere on our free iHeartRadio app. #1 for music, radio, and podcasts, all in one.
It's time for Clemson Sports Talk with Lawton Swan.
Just call me Swanee.
Tiger style.
It is hour number 2. That's drive time right here on the show that shakes the Southland Clemson Sports Talk. And on a Monday afternoon, as you are hopping in the car to make your way home from work, William Qualkenbush hops in to be a part of the show. Qualk, look, I said on Friday during my prediction that I will not predict Clemson to score more than 27 or 28 points again until they break through into the 30s. 17-14 heading into this matchup with Pittsburgh this coming Saturday after the victory over Syracuse. I'm going to struggle, Qualk, because if I can't give this team more than 27 or 28 points based off of my rule, I'm probably going to have to pick them to lose against the Pitt Panthers. Man, thank you for joining us. Your thoughts on that game on Friday night?
Well, I got to be honest. I was hoping that we would get more clarity on Pittsburgh from the Virginia Tech game, one way or the other. And honestly, there were 3 ways the game could go. One is Pitt scores a bunch of points, beats Virginia Tech in a shootout, and we go, yeah, man, there's no way that Clemson's going to beat Pittsburgh because they just can't score 20. And if you can't score 20, you're not beating a team that's scoring like that. The other way is that Pittsburgh and Virginia Tech play a nail-biter that's like 17-14. You go, okay. Well, only playing one semi-decent defense, and that defense is Tennessee, and Tennessee is not that great either on the defensive side. Maybe that inflated Pittsburgh's numbers. Maybe playing half your schedule against New Hampshire and UMass and people like that is actually the reason that you're putting up all these numbers. And there's a third way, Swanee, and the third way is that Pittsburgh holds Virginia Tech down defensively, and we have to acknowledge that Pittsburgh might be better than Clemson on both sides of the ball. And now I'm starting to think that's it. And that's the third most confusing option, right? Because, look, Clemson's done a good job. I was talking about this. I was talking about this with some family earlier this weekend. And a couple days ago, that was sort of the conversation was, okay, what the heck is going on with Clemson? How can Clemson maybe, hold Pittsburgh down and up? And I said, look, if Clemson could score on 4 drives, just 4 drives, that's all you have to do. You maybe can hold Pittsburgh to 21. You maybe can hold Pittsburgh to 24. Your 4 drives, 2 of them can't be field goals at that point. You got to have touchdowns. To me, this is the biggest issue I've got with Clemson is that the defense has had issues. The defense has had struggles, but the defense is allowing opponents to score an outrageously small percentage of possessions, right? Clemson's offense is not scoring a bunch of points. Like, I watched Michigan State and Indiana on Saturday, Swanee, and one of the things that stood out to me was Virginia Tech, or excuse me, not Virginia Tech, now I'm mixing metaphors. Michigan State had no offensive touchdowns in the game, no possessions scored. They hadn't even crossed the 50 yet, but they were down in the game 9-7, even though Indiana had 3 scoring drives because Indiana couldn't put the ball in the end zone. To me, that's what Clemson's dealing with right now. Is that you're unable to get touchdowns, you're unable to polish off drives. And so it makes it so difficult because one team can show up and go boom, boom, 2 plays and score, right? And your defense has played great, but now it's 7-6, even though you've scored on 2 possessions. that's really the issue. And I know that wasn't necessarily the issue against Syracuse on Friday. There were other things that popped up, but that's what I'm thinking heading into this weekend is, boy, Clemson's got to score a bunch of possessions unless it just gets a whole lot better at polishing off its scoring possessions with touchdowns.
So I asked DJ after the game, when you have a drop here or there or a missed pass, like does it sort of compound itself, because this has been a running theme all year where you just go, oh boy, here we go again, right? Like if we're golfers, Qualk, and we've had a shank and we go out there on the first tee box and we shank a ball, then it's like, oh boy, it's in between your ears. And he kind of said, no, it wasn't that, they understand that's a part of the game, but doesn't it feel like it's a bigger issue than just part of the game? I mean, for me, it feels like that this is larger than, some drops, some missed throws here or there. I mean, I think it's truly compounded itself to the point of where it's almost like a pressure cooker. They're just, every mistake is magnified because it has the capability of being like a domino effect.
Yeah, I'm flabbergasted at this point because the answer is obvious, and the answer is that it obviously has an effect. To say it doesn't have an effect right now is to avoid the elephant in the room, which is, are you seeing the body language on the field? The body language, and it's not just the player in the screen, it's everybody. DJ gets sacked, the body language of the offensive lineman isn't to go help him up. It's, we're hanging our heads, a ball gets overthrown, the body language from all the receivers, whether it's why didn't he throw it to me, or why didn't he throw it, I could catch it, or why couldn't I catch it? On screens when receivers don't block, it's why didn't you block that?
Right.
The body language is terrible. And honestly, you talked about golf, and that's an excellent analogy because I was playing pickup basketball last week. Now, Swanee, you and I are chuckers. We chuck the ball, right? And my teammates kept telling me to keep shooting because I was going to make shots, and I wasn't making as many early. And then I started hitting shots. Why? Because there's some residual knowledge that I have that says I can do this because I have done it, and my teammates think I can, right? So I'm constantly going back. Now, at some point, you miss enough shots, that knowledge goes away. On the golf course, if things go bad, guess what? I'm not a very good golfer. I'm a much better shooter playing pickup basketball than I am a golfer shooting golf shots. And so that residual knowledge that I have is very loose, and it's very easy for me to get in my own head and to basically mail in around a golf because I'm just not hitting it well today. I can't figure it out. I don't have that many ways for this to go better, right? There's a reason that it's different for me on the basketball court and it's different on the golf course. And there's a reason that Clemson can't figure it out right now. And that's because all of their residual knowledge that's built up over the first 6 games of the season is bad. And even the good drives are so difficult, that there's not even knowledge that says, wow, that was really easy. There's a couple of drives in random spots, but there's never been like back-to-back possessions where you go, okay, this team's really getting a rhythm. There are rarely back-to-back plays where it feels like this team is getting into a rhythm right now. It's kind of like the golfer who hits a good tee shot and then shanks his long iron, and then the next hole he hits a horrible drive, hits a great chip out of the woods, and then hits the ball over the green. It's like you can't put two good shots together, so you're constantly thinking, how is this one going to go wrong? That everybody, like the people listening, this is not new. Football players are people, right? And so when we get in how is this going to go wrong mentality, like the fans sitting at home are always thinking, how's this drive going to get through? Are they going to snap the ball over DJ's head? Are they going to not block on a screen? Is somebody going to miss a block on 3rd and 1? Are they going to drop a ball right in his hands 30 yards downfield with nobody around him in the area code? Like, how is this going to go badly? And it's almost laughable how many ways the Clemson offense is finding to get in its own way.
Honest to goodness, Qualk, the other thing, too, I think Clemson fans need to recognize is this. If you had said to Clemson Tiger fans back in, 2014, hey, we're going to give you 2 national titles, additional trips to the national championship game, but you're going to have a pretty poor 2021 season. Will you sign off on this waiver at this moment? Dude, everybody would take it. Like, everybody would take the run Clemson's had if that was the wager that was made. So keep some perspective on it, Tiger Nation. You've had a heck of a run. And again, this year, the other thing I was thinking about, and I talked about this in hour 1, Qualk, as tough as this season has been, right? if they win at NC State, you're talking about a team who's probably in the top 7 in the country, if not higher, and their lone loss is to the number 1 team. This looks like the clear-cut number 1 team in the Georgia Bulldogs. So, listen, that's not to dismiss the play that we have seen, but I think in this alternate universe where Clemson wins in Raleigh, I'm still scratching my head at what I'm watching unfold every Saturday.
Yeah, you know what? You're exactly right. Dabo Swinney said that a bunch of times, and people don't want to hear it, but he's right. If they were undefeated, the same issues would persist, but the questions would be different. We would still be going, why does it look like this? Honestly, we'd be saying the same stuff we were saying about Oklahoma, who was 6-0 before they put the best quarterback out there, on Saturday.
Yeah.
Stomped TCU. They were 6-0 and played 5 FBS games, and all of them were decided by a touchdown or less. That was not impressing people, but they were 6-0. And so it was like, well, when are we going to see Oklahoma really blow teams out? But it wasn't, why is Oklahoma undergoing an existential crisis? Has Lincoln Riley lost his mojo? Does Spencer Rattler have a pulse? Does Oklahoma, are they ever going to get out of purgatory? Like, it's weird how different the questions are because you lost a couple of times. I think Clemson is good enough to run the table. I also think that Clemson is good enough offensively, or poor enough offensively, is probably a better way of putting it, to lose like 4 games the rest of the way. So there's a lot of different ways this can go. I will say this. If you look at the history of college football, and I'm not trying to be Debbie Downer here because I don't think that what Dabo Swinney has built at Clemson is easily torn down brick from brick. You might have a storm knock out a couple of windows and have some roof issues every now and then, but I don't think they're going to bring the whole house down with 6 games. But if you look at it, 6 years is a pretty long time to operate in the stratosphere that Clemson's operated in. You look historically, there are about 2 examples of programs that have done it for longer than that, significantly longer than that. One is Bobby Bowden's Florida State, and the other one is Alabama right now. Bear Bryant didn't do it. Joe Paterno didn't do it. Bobby Bowden didn't do it again. Nick Saban didn't do it at LSU or Michigan State. You look at the greatest coach at Bud Wilkinson didn't do it at Oklahoma. Not like this, not consistently. And so everybody has a rough season. Even think about Ohio State. Ohio State's been a 10-win program for basically 20 years, right? There was one year, though, where they had Tattoo Gate with Terrell Pryor and Tim Tressel got canned, and they went 6-6. It's hard to go 10-2 or better every single year over and over and over again. So maybe this is a bit of a course correction that happens in college football. You're right. Everybody would take that trade, but also you don't like it. I told my wife yesterday, it was like you are constantly renewing the lease on like a Ford, like a 1992 Ford sedan or something, and then you get a Lexus for 6 years, and then the dealership is like, well, now all we have are Ford sedans from 1992. You know what? It was fine in 1992 to say, does this one run? Yeah, I'll take it. But when you've driven a Lexus for 6 years, you're trying to figure out why the heck every car can't be a Lexus. That's the way I think Clemson fans feel, and that's why I think they have a right to be frustrated.
Again, William Qualkenbush is on Twitter at Qualt Talk. So before we get back into Clemson and Pitt, which I know everybody's going to be so interested in, obviously just the way this team is played, who knows what you're going to get on Saturday. But Sunday morning, you had the Jaguars and the Dolphins. And Qualk, how cool was it to see those 2 guys who were really the face of that Clemson Tiger football team in 2018 going heads up on the field and the relationship that they certainly share?
Well, I'll tell you this, my first reaction when I saw like the fumble and a couple of the plays where they got to interact is I'm glad they're having fun playing with each other because they're not having a lot of fun doing a lot else on the field, either one of those guys. Trevor Lawrence's play, you're going for it with, 5-6 seconds left in a tie game?
Right.
You end up getting on 4th down and 8, you end up getting the first down, calling timeout, and nailing the field goal. That, to me, there's like, and I know this is crazy to say, there's like 6 or 8 quarterbacks in the NFL that are actually going to do that.
You're right.
You know what? He's not throwing to Devontae Adams like Aaron Rodgers is. You're not throwing to elite wide receivers there. I don't even know who caught the ball. Honestly, I have no idea out of the slot. Trevor gets the ball here to there like it teleported. That's a great play. And Christian Wilkins made some great plays in the game. It's nice to see those guys making individually great plays, even though their teams stink. And it's nice to see Trevor's team win their first since they beat the Colts in week 1 last year. 20 straight losses for the Jags. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, one of the NFL, they've got that next gen stats tweet or whatever. And on Lawrence's
Yes.
28-yard touchdown throw to Marvin Jones, they said that ball traveled 49.2 yards in the air. Jones had a 0.9 yard separation from the defensive back and 2.5 yards from the sidelines with a completion probability of 18.7. There have only been 20 of those, I think they said, this season in the NFL. 18, as a matter of fact, 18, and 2 of them have been thrown by Trevor Lawrence with that type of window.
Makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? I mean, he showed us he can do that. It makes a lot of – and listen, we're seeing what happens when Clemson has a quarterback who really can't do that right now. So, I mean, think about the contrast there.
It's a valuable point, and probably the reason that we've seen some of those struggles from DJ Uiagalelei. And look, I know it's still early in his career. He's still young. I think sometimes, given how good Clemson has been, Qualt, we forget that DJ's just into his, sixth, heading into his now seventh start as a sophomore and still very young and growing up in this offense. But this Pitt Panther team, man, they've been scoring in bunches. I mean, what's Clemson got to do offensively in your mind on Saturday in order to win this ballgame? Like, I was shocked they were favored, to be honest with you. But what do they have to do to win this game, in your opinion?
I don't know, man. That's a great question. You might have to ask me later in the week, because right now my thought is, hope the defense forces a couple turnovers, give you some short fields, and you make the field goals. Because here's what we know, okay? Here's what we know. Pat Narduzzi, they're not doing it as well this year, but I feel pretty good in saying that they're going to do a good job of this. They're not going to let you run it much, right? They gave up 44 to Western Michigan. Western Michigan can't run the ball. Listen, and they didn't run the ball. They threw it. Virginia Tech's dead last in the ACC in rushing offense, yards per carry by a wide margin. You think it's bad at Clemson, Virginia Tech can't run it at all. And you saw what happened there when Virginia Tech's not even pretending to be able to run it. Pitt takes it away easily. And then all of a sudden, you're in passing downs 2/3 of the way. You cannot get in that circumstance. You're going to have to pass it on 1st and 10. You're going to have to somehow get 5 or 6 yards on 1st and 10 so that your whole playbook's open the entire, however big that playbook is, and that it's open the entire game, and that you can keep Pittsburgh on his heels a little bit. Because what you can't do is run into the back of the center or the left guard or right guard on 1st and 10 and go 2nd and 10, and then you have to throw, and then Narduzzi has got you right where he wants you. The other thing that Clemson got to do offensively is that they've got to do a little bit more of what we saw really for the first time all year on Friday night. You've got to just let guys make plays. Joe Ngata makes an insane catch, and that's his only catch. He's only targeted 5 times. I would throw back shoulders and deep throws to him 6 or 8 times. Make DJ do it. I don't even care. Threaten to pull him out of the game if he doesn't do it. You've got to throw the ball to Ngata, and he's got to have a chance to make a play, because I think that's where Pittsburgh is a little bit softest in coverage right now. You can be got if you're one of those corners just a little bit smaller, and Ngata's shown that he's willing to go up and make those catches. You have got to involve him more. A passing game that is stagnant right now, even on his best moments, it looks like everything is really, really hard. The gears just are not clicking right. Throw the ball up to that guy. He cannot have one catch in the game. I think to be Pittsburgh, Joe Ngata's got to have 100+ yards, period. I think if Ngata doesn't go off, I don't see Clemson moving the ball very well against the Pitt defense.
Qualk, I'm going to give you one other thing. And as good as this Clemson Tiger defense has been, they have yet to create points. I mean, they need to have like a pick 6, because I mean that feels like, for the way this team plays, that's like a 14-point swing. I mean, I think the defense is going to have to score at some point if Clemson is going to beat a team like Pitt, unless just some, I don't know, offensive fairy comes through and waves a magic wand and fixes thing. I think Brent Venables' side of the football has got to put some points up as well.
That's a very good point. And I think, especially from angry Clemson fans, they're basically not even caring about the defense at this point. They don't even care because they're so mad. And anytime they're mad about the defense, they're just directing that to, well, if the offense wasn't so bad, then there wouldn't be an issue. There are issues with this defense. Some of it is injury-related, things they can't control. This is a team that's not gotten off the field very much on 3rd down. I tweeted this out. Going into the Syracuse game, there have been 14 drives by Clemson's opponents of 4 minutes or more this season. Clemson only had 6. Now, Clemson had a couple. Syracuse had, I think, 1. They had a drive that was close. I'm not sure if it went over the mark or not. But so that was really the first game, other than South Carolina State, that Clemson's been even or ahead in that statistic of just keeping their offense on the field, keeping the opposing offense, getting them off the field. Third down had been an issue. They did better against that against Syracuse. You've got to continue to play well on first down. Clemson's issues have not been first down related. Clemson's issues have been third down related. A lot of 3rd and 8, soft coverage, you're giving up a catch for 9 yards, things like that. You can't do that against Pickett, man. You have got to put Pickett in third down situations, and you have got to knock him off the spot. And I agree. You've got to be able to make something happen. This is a game where defense and special teams may have to do something to get Clemson over the 20 mark. And considering you're down about your 4th punt returner, and God knows we don't return kicks anymore, and you just use the fake punt, so you probably don't have that in your basket anymore, you're probably going to have to get it from defense in this game. I totally agree with you there. The defense has got to take every single matter into its own hands, including scoring, and it's got to continue to improve on third down.
Qualt, buddy, can't wait to talk to you next week.
Thanks, Swanee. Always a pleasure.
Stay with us for more of the show that shakes the Southland, Clemson Sports Talk.
It's your chance to win $1,000. Text the nationwide keyword PAY to 200-200. You'll get a confirmation text and info. Standard data and message rates apply in the nationwide contest. That's PAY to 200-200. Now, Columbia's most dependable traffic. Sponsored by Pope Davis Tire and Automotive. Home of the best tire prices in Columbia. Guaranteed. Fox Sports Radio 1400 traffic.
A wreck on Rosewood at Garland has the roadway partially blocked. Also an accident on Piney Grove Road at the I-26 ramp. The 103.5 FM WVOC traffic tip line numbers 343-1055.
This report is sponsored by the Blue Cross and Blue Shield Federal Employee Program. At the Blue Cross and Blue Shield Federal Employee Program, they cover more federal employees, retirees, and their families than any other health plan. Now it's time to see what they can do for you. Learn more about healthy benefits at fepblue.org/wecan.
For 28 years, the professional staff of the Hobbs Group and Hobbs Group Advisors has been dedicated to helping others achieve their financial goals by delivering quality, objective financial and accounting solutions to a diverse client base of individuals and businesses all over South Carolina. We offer tax and audit services, bookkeeping, payroll, litigation support, employee benefits, personal financial planning, investment management, and insurance services. Please call us at 803-799-0555 or visit our website, hobbscpa.com, to learn more about our people and services.
By popular demand, Great Southern Homes now lists their coming soon communities online. Whether you're looking for a new home in your hometown, moving to a new town, or just want your pick of choice lots, this is the place to start. Great Southern Homes invites you to put the wow in your new home with options and upgrades. Live green, live smart in your new green smart home. Show your style and personalize your new home with options and upgrades from Great Southern Homes. Find your dream home today, GreatSouthernHomes.com.
Are you thinking about refinancing your home, but worried that closing costs could cancel out any money you'd save? Not with Cap Center's zero closing cost mortgages.
This is our 6th time using Cap Center. The quality of service was excellent, and the savings were substantial.
Cap your closing costs. Visit capcenter.com. Equal housing lender. Visit capcenter.com for rates, savings, and offer limitations. This ad contains real client feedback voiced by actors. NMLS ID 67717. NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Hi, I'm Alicia Kaufman Quinton. My daddy, Billy Kaufman, opened Kaufman's Meat Plant at our present location in 1955. My family still works hard every day to ensure fresh quality cuts of beef, pork, and poultry. How about a tasty T-bone, ribeye, or New York strip steak? But to order at Kaufman's Meat Place. Just look for the signs near the intersection of US 1 and I-20 in Lexington. Call us at 356-0076 to place your order. Kaufman's Meat Place, when you want the very best your money can buy.
You wanted to see me?
Yes, please, have a seat. So here's the thing. When this company brought you on, we took a chance on you. You didn't have that 4-year college degree we typically look for.
Right.
But we gave you a shot anyway. And since then, you've worked incredibly hard and given it your all.
Thanks.
You've been an important asset to the team, but I don't think you can be an intern here anymore. We want to hire you.
You're serious?
Absolutely.
Find your next great employee. Introduce yourself to the grads of life. Who are they? Talent worth knowing about. Young adults of unique determination and experience. An ideal fit for your company in an entry-level position, internship, or even mentorship. They might not have every qualification you typically look for, but they're exactly who your company needs.
I won't let you down.
I know.
Don't miss out on a resource many innovative companies have already discovered. Go to gradsoflife.org to learn how to find, cultivate, and train this great pool of untapped talent. Brought to you by the Ad Council and gradsoflife.org.
Stay on top of today's pop culture. Ace and TJ Mornings and today's hit music all day on 104.7 WNOK.
Welcome back to Clemson Sports Talk. Always great catching up with William Qualkenbush on a Monday afternoon. And, didn't really get a chance to talk too much about watching Trevor and Christian Wilkins playing the NFL, but that was so cool to see those guys. And obviously Tyler Shatley also a part of that ball game. But for Trevor Lawrence to have the performance that he did and the way he played in that moment, to me, to snap the losing streak, a 20-game losing streak, the second longest in the history of the NFL, was significant. But even more significant was just how Trevor Lawrence has been playing. And I think that the future for that young man, 23-20, by the way, the final score in the ball game on Sunday morning. That game was cranked up at 9:30 a.m. on CBS yesterday, but Trevor Lawrence goes 25 of 41, 319 yards, 1 touchdown, took 2 sacks for a loss of 7 yards, ran the ball 2 times for 11 yards, had a gain of 12 on a key drive in that ball game, and again was stripped by Dexter Lawrence, was stripped by Christian Wilkins, and Wilkins had a pretty good performance as well. But to see those two guys and their competitiveness and all of that taking place, and just the memories of winning 44-16 in Santa Clara, and not to mention the quarterback for Miami was Tua, who of course lost that ball game against Trevor Lawrence in college, which was, I guess, sort of another storyline in this one. But, I can't help but watch Trevor Lawrence and think this is going to be one of the next great quarterbacks in the NFL. And then I flip and think about the Clemson Tiger football team right now with DJ at quarterback, and I think about the struggles. And so there's 2 sides of this at this point. Like, there is the recognition, I think you have to have, that Trevor Lawrence was going to mask a lot of issues. Forget Travis Etienne. He was already, look, not only was it the number 1 drafted guy in the NFL draft was your quarterback, but the best running back statistically in the history of the ACC was your running back. I say all that to get to this point. It is possible that Trevor Lawrence was masking issues for Clemson all along. Forget Etienne, just Trevor Lawrence alone. And then when you watch him play in the NFL, you watch him and go, man, he is going to be a real dude in this league for a while. Like, he has all the feels of being an elite quarterback professionally. And DJ does not collegiately have that feel right now. Now, I think he did. And I think that coming off of the heels of his performance against Notre Dame a season ago, the thought process around his performance in that game felt like it was going to be indicative of future results. You just said, okay, well, this is how he played against the Fighting Irish. Why wouldn't I expect to see that on a regular basis this season? Because he had to be the guy in that game. DJ Uiagalelei was 29 of 44 for 439 yards with 2 touchdowns. 439 yards and 2 touchdowns. That's nearly, but not quite, that's nearly half of what he's done this year. 439 is 878 yards. He has thrown for 974. He had 2 touchdowns in that game. He has thrown 4. That is half. I mean, his performance, matter of fact, in his 2 performances against Boston College and Notre Dame a year ago, DJ Uiagalelei threw for 4 touchdowns, as many as he's thrown for this year, no interceptions, and just doing the math here briefly, 781 yards, something like that. I mean, it's incredible, the drop-off that we have seen, because statistically, if you have a player who has a performance like that, a couple of performances like that in a row, you would not believe in any way, shape, or form that he was going to fall off the mark the way DJ has. And so if you believe that it's okay, he doesn't have command of the offense, he doesn't have full command of the playbook, then I go back to, well, what else is different? And yes, maybe the offensive line is worse this year than they were last year, but it's not like they were spectacular a year ago. Yes, you're missing a running back like Travis Etienne, but I can't imagine that would be enough to change who he is, DJ is, as a passer. The wide receiving core, Amari Rodgers, the slot, Cornell Powell was the kind of go-to guy as well a year ago, minus Justin Ross. And not having healthy versions of Frank Ladson, which that trend has continued, or Joe Ngata, who has been a part of this offense this year. I don't know. Like, there's so many different ways to slice it. Let me know what you think. 803-450-0086. Text line, phone line, 803-450-0086. Again, it is the show that shakes the Southland, Clemson Sports Talk, rolling along on a Monday afternoon. Tell you what, when we get back, we'll hear from you, the people, the listeners to the show that shakes the Southland. I put it out on Friday. It's actually been harder to talk about Friday's game today than it was on Friday or even all of last week. I put it out on Friday after the game. Let us know how you feel. What are your thoughts about this Clemson Tiger team? We'll play some of those comments and messages for you on the show that shakes the Southland. And by the way, that number is 24 hours, 7 days a week, 803-450-0086. When we get back, we hear from you, the listeners, on the People Show. Stay with us.
The Rock Holiday Tradition returns. Trans-Siberian Orchestra live in concert. December 8th at Colonial Life Arena, Columbia. Reserved seats on sale now at livenation.com. Millions of fans have witnessed this one-of-a-kind audio-visual concert. Trans-Siberian Orchestra's Christmas Eve and Other Stories, live at Colonial Arena, Columbia, December 8th. A holiday experience for the entire family.
Way back when, Columbia was a vast dining desert, a wasteland for fast, fresh, authentic Southwestern food. Weren't nothing bundled up nice and warm in a tortilla. Columbia needed Diablos. Southwestern the way you want it. The real deal, with no shortcuts in quality and served up as fast and fresh as you want it. Diablo Southwest Grill. Sunset Boulevard in Lexington. DiabloSouthwestGrill.com.
Hey everyone, this is Ray.
And Marianne from Absolute Glass, your local high-end auto glass specialist in the Midlands.
You can be confident if the high-end car dealers trust us to get the job done right, you can too.
Visit AbsoluteGlassInc.com for all your auto, home, and business glass needs. Or call us at 803-951-7200.
And don't forget, we do home windows, patio doors, tabletop, shower doors, mirrors, and storefronts. If you can see through it, we can do it.
It's your chance to win $1,000. Text the nationwide keyword PAY to 200-200. You'll get a confirmation text and info. Standard data and message rates apply in this nationwide contest. That's PAY to 200-200.
Hi, this is Dan Patrick, and here's what's trending from the iHeart Sports Network, presented by Mercedes-Benz.
Baker and the Browns are going backwards after getting blown out by Arizona. Cleveland's now 3-3. Baker's banged up. He's been outplayed by every other top young quarterback he's faced. But every team faces adversity. The Raiders won on the road despite being mired in controversy. No more excuses for Baker. It's time to win now, or you can kiss the extension goodbye. And today, I don't think he'd get one. I'm Colin Cowherd.
They say good things come to those who wait. The 2021 Mercedes-Benz SUV family proves otherwise. It takes no time at all to set up a test drive at your local Mercedes-Benz dealer. Learn more at MBUSA.com.
I'm Colleen Wolfe from Thursday Night Football and Good Morning Football Weekend. And I'm Ricky Hollywood from Around the NFL and the broadcast. On our new podcast, Split Ends, Ricky and I will be coming to you every week to talk about all the important and unimportant storylines in the football world. Join us for the stories on and off the field that matter. We'll break down games, news stories, tweets, interviews, whatever it takes to cover the ins and outs of the NFL world. Listen to Split Ends on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Adopt US Kids presents Multiple Choice Parenting.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes?
How could he do this to you? And for Sheila, she has split ends.
B, console her?
Oh, sweetie, this is going to happen a lot. 4, maybe 5 more times before you get married.
C, take charge.
Got to get this all straightened out. Give a little talking to, man to man, mano a mano. Hey, Steve. Is now a good time? No? Okay, no problem. Bye.
Or D, help her find a new boyfriend.
I know a great place to meet boys. The internet. Nice, single boys. Never mind. How about some ice cream?
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
For more information on how you can adopt, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
It's sports radio done only the way Fox can do it.
Always something to talk about. There's always controversy. And
You're listening to Fox Sports Radio 1400.
Clemson Sports Talk on a Monday afternoon. Again, I mentioned before the break, we're going to get out to several callers, and we are absolutely going to do that. We begin with one I am familiar with, very familiar with. My sister, one of my two sisters, my sister Weta, actually gave me a call after the Clemson-Syracuse game.
Hey, Lawton, this is your sister. You don't have to play this on the air, but my heart is beating out of my chest. I just can't take these games. It's really not good for my health. Well, we pulled it out again. I guess we're very, very lucky. Talk to you soon.
Thanks for the call. We didn't. Yes, I am going to play it on the air. Give me content. I'll play it. By the way, you can participate as well. 803-450-0086 anytime, any place, anywhere. Right after a game if you want. Right after a play if you want. We'd love to hear from you. And again, Clemson, a underdog heading into this weekend's matchup with Pitt, and rightfully so. It's so crazy, though. As I mentioned to William Qualkenbush earlier, can you imagine? And I honestly, I can't even remember now if I mentioned to him this on or off the air, but can you imagine if this team had beaten NC State? They'd have one loss. I can't even fathom where they'd be ranked. Just the way they've looked. I mean, it's insane. I have no idea where I'd put them if they had won that game that they lost in overtime. Would they be a top 10 team? They certainly aren't playing like a top 10 team. But then in their back pocket, to legitimize their play, you would have the fact that, well, they only lost at that point to Georgia by 7 off a pick 6, the number 1 team in the country. And additionally, NC State continues to climb the college football playoff rankings, or the college football rankings, not playoff rankings, just the standings. I mean, it's not as if Clemson's 2 losses are the two terrible ball clubs at this point. I mean, NC State walloped Boston College this past Saturday. I have no idea where they would be. We did get another call into the show as well over the weekend from a longtime Clemson Tiger, an unnamed Clemson Tiger. Anytime you call, leave us your name so we can talk about it here on the program. I don't even care. You can self-gloss. You want to call yourself 1985 Tiger fan? I'll go with that. You can have some anonymity, if you will. But here's our another caller after Clemson's matchup with Syracuse over the weekend.
I've been a Clemson fan since the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s. And I've watched pretty good quarterbacks and I've watched pretty bad quarterbacks. I've watched good teams and bad teams. Unfortunately, the team I'm seeing in 2021 is probably the most lethargic, unparalleled, poor performing teams I've seen in a while. I grant you that Dabo has given us a wonderful, wonderful 10 years. However, DJ is big, slow, flat-footed, inaccurate, and he needs to be replaced. Also, somebody needs to light a fire under our receivers that can't catch balls that even Trevor that threw it darn near out of bounds, they caught it. So I'm just disappointed in the team this year, disappointed in the coaching staff, and I'm especially disappointed in the recruiting in that brought DJ in from the left coast and think he could compete with a Southeast United States quarterback.
Appreciate the call. You know, it is surprising that DJ's played as poorly as he has. And as I mentioned, I've talked with several people about it, some closer to the situation than others. And there is the belief that this coaching staff at this point, at least from one observer's perspective that I talked to who has a connection back, said, look, Swanee, they don't believe he can, command this entire offense at this point. So they feel pretty limited. They feel hamstrung by it. And I just go back to that Notre Dame game. And I just think, how in the world, how could he be that sharp a year ago? And yet here's what we see. And then I think about the situation with his parents and what he's dealing with. And maybe that is playing into some of the frustrations and the issues that DJ Uiagalelei is having. One interesting stat that came out from our good buddy Tim Beret, who joins us every Thursday, is this. Last year, Clemson's top two backs, Travis Etienne and Lynn J. Dixon, averaged 5.6 yards per rush. This year, Kobe Pace and Phil Maffa are averaging 5.26 yards per rush. So the exact same yards per rush from those guys, so which is a pretty incredible thing there. 803-450-0086, because I don't think anybody would have imagined that, which may also speak volumes or more so about Clemson's offensive line and just the way they have played. But again, this segment about you, the listener, and we did get a text message last week about, I believe this came to us from John in Archdale, North Carolina, who says, Swanee, why does DJ just stand in the pocket and not move his feet? He's really, and I went back and I watched the first 2 or 3 possessions of that game offensively for Clemson against Syracuse. And, I was critical of the throw that he made to Justin Ross, where Ross sort of rolled his ankle. Dabo Swinney said during his Sunday teleconference yesterday that was really still on Ross to make that catch. And I get it, but the ball is clearly behind him, and Ross has got to turn backwards. And the fact that he has to turn backwards and manipulate himself that way is the reason that he kind of tweaked his ankle or his foot and ended up dropping that pass. And I still felt like there was a chance for DJ to make a better throw, but I will give DJ some credit on that play, although I thought he threw the ball late and I thought he threw it a little bit inaccurate. And again, that's the nature of the game. You're not going to be perfectly accurate as a quarterback. But I will say DJ did in that play step up, slide in the pocket a little bit, and find an opening to be able to make a heady throw down the field. It just didn't quite work out like you would like to see. But he is a bit he's a bit cumbersome. He sort of lumbers maybe in the pocket a little bit. And I just don't understand why he doesn't choose to keep more balls on the zone read. I mean, that's another thing that's sort of bothered me as well. But, I don't know, man. I am undefeated, but yet winless as an offensive coordinator. So I'm not sure. With a quick break, we'll bounce back. Final segment next. Stay with us.
Radio advertising can connect your business with holiday shoppers wherever they go. Use iHeart Ad Builder to create an affordable custom radio ad right on your phone. Just click, listen, approve, then hear it on the radio. Create your customized ad today at iHeartAdBuilder.com.
There's a hot new podcast we think you'll like. Variety's Strictly Business. Hear candid conversations about business deals, strategy, and the future of media and entertainment from industry A-listers. Hosted by Variety business editor Cynthia Littleton and co-editor-in-chief Andrew Wallenstein. And once a month, executive editor of music Shirley Halperin will join the conversation to discuss the business of music. Listen to Strictly Business on iHeartRadio or wherever you get your podcasts.
When a community grows, its hospital should grow too. And that's just what we're doing at Lexington Medical Center. We recently launched the largest hospital expansion project in South Carolina history. Our new 10-story patient tower will help us take better care of patients, including the tiniest infants who need special attention. It will also make room for the growing number of patients who need surgery and intensive care. At Lexington Medical Center, our mission to serve our community never wavers. We're here when you need us today, and we'll be there when you need us tomorrow.
Let me tell you who I trust to protect my home and my family. Modern Exterminating. Hey, it's Lawton Swan, and when you need top quality service from a team that knows what bugs you, call Modern Exterminating, 765-2315. They're locally owned and offer a full complement of pest elimination services, including complete pest control, termite plans, moisture control, and more. Check out Modern Exterminating online at pestfreesc.com or give them a call today, 765-2315. Modern Exterminating. They know what bugs you.
Hi, Scott here with Traditions Fine Jewelers. Everybody knows that diamonds are a girl's best friend. But did you know that now there's a new kind of diamond that's sure to become a girl's new best friend? I'm talking about lab-grown diamonds, of course. They're exquisite, they're stunning, and they're incredibly affordable. Best of all, if you're looking for something big, they eliminate the need to settle for a lower-grade stone because now you can get a beautiful, eye-clean, bright 1-carat diamond for less than $2,000. Or how about a gorgeous 2-carat diamond for just $5,000? Or if you want to go really big, how about a 3-carat for just $10,000. Yes, we still carry diamonds that come from the earth, and we always will, because there's nothing more romantic than an earth mine diamond. But now modern technology gives you an amazing choice, and we're all about it. So come see us and start your journey towards getting the diamond of your dreams, earth mine or lab grown. It's your call. And for the best selection of both, come see us at Traditions, only at Traditions Fine Jewelers. Now with 2 locations to serve you. Sunset Boulevard in Lexington, or at the Sand Hills Center in front of the fountain. Traditions Fine Jewelers, where the Midlands get engaged.
Sand Hills location now open.
Of course my kid's in the right car seat. Well, I think he is.
Yeah, my kid's in a booster seat. He was ready to move up. He is ready, right?
Her car seat looks like the right size.
There are probably rules on when to move up to a booster seat, aren't there?
Rear facing, forward facing. I think I have it right.
Car crashes are a leading killer of children 1 to 13. Are your children in the right car seat for their age and size? Don't think you know. Know you know. Go to safercar.gov/the right seat.
I know my child's in the right car seat, or else I wouldn't get in the driver's seat.
Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Fox Sports Radio 1400. Online at foxsportsradio1400.com. On your phone with the iHeartRadio app and on hundreds of devices like Alexa, Google Home, Xbox, and Sonos. An iHeart radio station.
Fair question. Just don't lose sight of the bigger picture. Don't forget history. lucky for us at Clemson, the answer to the questions, what have you done for me lately, and what have you done always, are the same. We win.
Final segment on a Monday afternoon, Clemson Sports Talk, Lawton Swan. I mentioned Dabo Swinney in his Sunday teleconference. Obviously, we get a chance to hear from him tomorrow ahead of Clemson's matchup against Pitt, where the Tigers are underdogs heading into that game, 3-point underdogs. But Dabo Swinney yesterday spoke with the media via his teleconference. We got the full audio up right now on our website, clemsonsportstalk.com, from top to bottom. Got you covered. Again, that is for our premium subscribers, just $63.17 to be a part of it. If you like this show and you want to support us and help us grow, go sign up, create an account, and also, get in the forums and post. That's the one thing it's lacked. It's always lacked it from the get-go, but that's the nature of trying to start something brand new. All right, so Dabo Swinney yesterday during his teleconference.
Again, great win by our guys. Obviously good to get a win on the road, especially against a division opponent. We certainly make it harder on ourselves for sure in a lot of areas, but we do have a resilient team. I'm proud of them. We've had 4 consecutive one-possession games, and we were 3-1 in those games with obviously the double OT loss. And guys are playing hard, but just just frustrating to see us struggle offensively and just miss so many opportunities. But we just got to keep grinding, and sooner or later we're gonna work our way through it.
Dabo Swinney there talking about Clemson's struggles offensively, and I mean it really has been one. If it's not one thing, it's the other, and that's what I think has obviously been so frustrating for everybody. Is you watch and there's a play where Joe just completely whiffs on a block. There's a bad snap here, a holding penalty there. I mean, on and on and on. You just kind of go, man, this Clemson Tiger team can't get out of their own way. They just cannot get out of their own way. And I think that's one of the things that frustrates this coaching staff to no end. Dabo Swinney was asked about the mixing and matching of that offensive line and how that has gone. Have they found the combination that they like?
Well, I mean, that's kind of been the story of the year. We're musical chairs in the offensive line. We've had 3 different centers now in 6 games, injuries, and just not great continuity. And we felt good coming out of the BC game where we were, and then boom, all of a sudden, Rayburn's out, and Mason Trotter hadn't played all year, so. He's practiced, but he hadn't played, and here he goes in there and he's playing 70-something snaps. And again, disappointed and unfortunate with the one snap, but he played pretty good. And but I mean, Jordan McFadden is our best player. There's no question about that. I mean, he's been a great. He had two bad plays in the game, but he's been a great player for us all year. So he's been a very bright spot for us. I thought, Bach was consistent yesterday, and again, we had to move him around. Walker did not have a very good game, and he only practiced 2 days the last 2 weeks. He was out, the whole off week, and then with a concussion, and then was able to go kind of the last couple of days, and same thing with Putnam. So just. We've just had a hard time kind of having the type of continuity that it takes, and but hopefully we can keep a group of 5, 6, 7 guys, healthy here, and see if we can get that type of continuity that we need.
Dabo Swinney talking about Clemson's offensive line. He was also asked about the fact that these wide receivers have just had some drops and issues left and right.
Yeah, it's beyond frustrating, and no, we've we've actually practiced well, and it's incredibly frustrating. Because again, you're talking. I mean, just early on we were missing plays, and now quarterback's putting the ball on the money. I mean, the second series we get it. I mean, that's going to be a 50, 60-yard play. And I mean, there's nobody around Ross. And I thought DJ did a great job in the pocket, sliding and Ross just kind of stepped funny and lost his focus on the ball. And we get a great, we had the crazy snap and dadgum, if we don't overcome 3rd and 16 and DJ makes a great throw and we don't make the catch. I mean, just frustrating, again. And then there's times when we're open earlier in the year where we missed some plays that were there. So just, but it's very frustrating because I know we're better than that. And, we just gotta finish.
There's Dabo Swinney talking about this wideout group. And he also said, look, man, it is, he was asked about, what is it about? He said, it's 100% technical.
Yeah, it's 100% technical. Just get your job done. I mean, the opening, I don't know, second or third play, we call a little screen. It's just a great call by Tony. It's going to be a probably 15-yard gainer, and we get a TFL because we don't even touch the guy. Literally don't even touch him. Like, we take the play off, and that's frustrating. And we got to get that corrected. That's on us as coaches. Period.
So there you go, Dabo Swinney laying it out there. Again, 803-450-0086. You want to comment, you want to be a part of the program. It is anytime, any place, anywhere. It is the show that shakes the Southland, the people show, Clemson Sports Talk. Our website, ClemsonSportsTalk.com. We would love to have you join us again. Just $63.17 for the entire season. That's right, or year. That's right, or season, whatever you want to call it. I said it, Gamecock Nation. $63.17. We got to get out of here until tomorrow. As always, y'all take care now. And go Tigers!
Clemson Sports Talk with Lawton Swan on Columbia's home for sports. Fox Sports Radio 1400. Now, Columbia's most dependable traffic, sponsored by